Hello neighbors. I found a fairly disturbing thing. I found a crack in our stucco. We're going on close to 10 years of owning the home. We bought it in 2013 and had no cracks. And so as you notice right there, there's maybe a 2 foot, a little more than 2 foot inch or 2 foot crack, I guess, maybe a little more. But anyways, you can't leave these cracks unattended. So it's not as bad as you think it is. Okay, it goes all the way up to here. I'm holding my iPhone. Usually I use my my GoPro equipment, but my GoPro battery is dead. Now, what normally causes, if you look here, you can see some wetness there, and that is bad news. A little discoloration on each side of the crack. Chances are what that means is that this crack started from inside out. Probably because of two factors: a house settling. We are in the sinkhole capital of the United States, and look at this up close. This is the horrible job that the contractors did. So it looks like what happens, the stucco people went ahead and stuccoed this properly. And then, when I say properly, I'm not talking about as far as this overall install, but they actually made the hole small here where the electrical outlet is. And what happened is, an electrician came in here and they chipped away, okay, in order to put this in. So there's no painting. If you look on the side here, there's holes into there. Heavy rains, as you remember, hits these walls like you wouldn't believe. That water will go in there and sink down behind the walls, and it'll start swelling the wood studs that this box is mounted on with nails. It will also, and you know, water tension, right? The wood will suck it up and it can travel. Okay, so you got fire stoppers here too by code. So between 16 inches on center, and I think that's what they have, 16 inch or 24 inch on center wall studs, and you have to have horizontal fire stoppers. All they are 2x4s, 2x6s, whatever they use to sit between the vertical studs. Okay, so water can travel. Okay, so I think that this thing started off with water going in here, and the wood started to expand. When wood expands, it will crack your stucco. Okay, that's why it's never a good idea to put holes in your wall. These little screws right here, these are not a great idea. But the good news is that it looks like these screws, was the actual receiver. I don't know what they call that. Normally you have a nut. This is like an equivalent to a nut. Is shoved in there, either after, just before this thing cured, or probably they put it in, they put the stucco around these. Either way, while it's wet, I'm willing to bet that it's stuck to these posts. So these are less susceptible of allowing water to get back there and get into the studs and start causing the crack. Now, I've seen these start cracking from one to another, to another, to another. So I intend to actually put some sort of protection on these guys here soon enough. But right now, my main concern is stopping the damage right away, so water can't go in here. Now that the crack's there, it means that water can find a way in there and continue to cause more damage in an accelerated rate. This probably started out slow, now it hit critical mass, and now it's accelerating. So the only way you can do this is to seal this up here around this thing. You want to seal this up all the way up to here. So I'm going to be guessing where this thing started, and I'm going to up here. It's hard, sorry about that. All the way up here, and then I'm going to seal it all the way down to here. Now you're asking, what am I using? I've never used this stuff before. A lot of folks use actual mortar material, but this here that makes that mortar material, this is the company that makes it, but that company really doesn't mass produce that. So you can only find it at Walmart. This is where this stuff is everywhere. So I got this off of Amazon because I don't like going to the store. But this is designed specifically for what we're trying to do. So I cut a little tip in there, and then what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this as I put the bead on it, you know, I'm going to tap it. So I'll see if I can do this. You know, look, one of my hands are, you know, holding this camera. Had I had my GoPro, things would have been different. But I'm going to put the bead on the crack, and then I'm going to smooth it out with this wet sponge. You see this textured surface? You want to kind of tap it. After you force it in, then you want to tap it slightly, and this will give you a simulated texture to what's on the wall. The whole idea is to make it blend in and it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Now, I do have the Homeowners Association and the Builders paint code. There's going to be a problem here though. The new paint versus the old UV bleach paint there's going to be a difference, okay? So I don't have to get the permission to do this, all right? As long as it's the same code, same paint, according to the bylaws, I'm just fine. I don't have to get permission. It's only if I change the color. So you see this this down spout, whatever you want to call it, this cover, that provides a natural division between the left and right of it. And then you get up to here's a natural division by the actual structure of the building, okay? And then you have, of course, the door frame right here. So the only place that you really are going to see a difference is the paint that I'm going to put right here. So I'm going to be painting with a roller. Really, ideally, you want to have airless spray system to do this. But I didn't want to spend $200+ on an air system. I'm going to just use one time, at least for now. So you can do it with rollers, and our stucco isn't the deep kind of stucco texture. So using a 1-inch roller insert, or cartridge, I guess, whatever they call it, should do the trick. So why am I saying this? These natural structure, I guess, transition points, okay, allows the new paint and the UV bleached paint here to blend in naturally. It doesn't look awkward. So this should work out just fine. Anyways, I'm going to get to work. You got to put this stuff on. It will skin over about 4 hours, and then within 24 hours, you won't have to worry about rain, you know, messing it up. So I got to get this done, because in Florida, you never know if you're going to get rain or not, regardless of what the weather folks say. So I'm hoping I don't get rain. I'm going to get this done right away. And it takes about 1 week to totally cure. So let's see how it goes. All right, so it's only been something like 3 hours, maybe a little less, but I don't know, from a distance you can tell, you barely notice it, and it's not quite dry yet. So you can tell around on both sides of the repair, it's a little wet still. So I think once we get some serious sunlight on that, there may be a good chance that the color of the material will blend in well, and I may not have to paint, at least not for now. So if I can delay the cost of and time of having to paint, that would be great. There is a slight little crack up there which you cannot see. Now that's a little exposed, so I'll touch that up right now, but for the most part, looks pretty good.